Hi, this is your girl, the Dorsey Way, coming back to you again from the classroom at the end of the day to make this video on some tips for preparing for your students. Now, usually I would tell you some things that you need to do in preparation for your students, but today I wanted to actually uh, give you a model of what that can look like. This is the setup that I use for my classroom. It's beneficial to my students and to me as well. It keeps me on track, and it's also good for observers. When they come in, they don't have to ask you anything. They can just look at your board, and everything that they need to know about your lesson is there. Also for your students and yourself. So, with no further ado, let's look at the board. Okay, the first thing I want to show off or showcase is my MAD agenda board. See if I can get this right. If you look at the board, you can see I actually have it labeled MAD, and then I actually have the agenda. It's spelled out agenda on the board. I have my MAD module, the M4. That's the module that I'm in for MAD class. We use Great Mind MAD, well, Eureka MAD squared. And as you can see, I have it set up just like it is in the book. I also included my early finisher so my students will know exactly what to do if they finish their assignment early, and I have more than one. Also, as you can see, I have planned the test for Friday of this week. So I also put that on the board as well. And I like to give them at least 3 days notice, 3 days heads up that they have a test coming up. And I'm probably going to add more to that, or just tell them the module and the topic and the lessons that's covered in the topic that's going to be covered on the test. Yes, I spell it out for them. Next, I have my learning intention, or sometimes it's called the learning target, and my success criteria. I teach fifth grade math and science, so you can see that I have both on for both. Now my science is flipped over. I do that on test days. So today we had a test in science. So when they see that, they know today is a test. If they weren't paying attention in class, if they forgot to study, when they walk in and they see that turned around, they automatically know, oops, or whoop, or uh-oh, I have a test today. But for the math, I have that one set up. Today we did lesson 6. I have my objective, my lesson intention, or my target. I know it's called the learning intention in the title, but I give them more on the sheet. And yes, I type this out every day. I have the module labeled module 4 and the lesson. Right next to it is the success criteria. To be successful, I must be able to be successful. I have a mistake there. I must be able to, and that comes from the standard. So if they can do that, they shouldn't have a problem with the exit ticket, and that's what I give to them, just so I can see how much they got from the lesson. Did they master the lesson, or what do I need to go over before I start on the next lesson? All right. Next to that, I have my driving question board. Now, the driving question board, that goes with science. That comes straight from the curriculum. I have my topics. Those topics are what's covered under the concepts in the actual module. So they just add any questions they have, they put it on a sticky note, and then they walk up to the board and put the question in the category it fits in. And if there isn't a category, they just put it under the title Other. All right, on to the next thing. I'm moving further over to my science side. Now, if you look at the board, I have Earth systems written there, and then I have it in the four squares. It's categorized in the four squares setup. I use that to display all of Earth systems that we cover. We cover all four of them in the module right now. Now we tested today on concept 1, which covered Earth systems. So as we move through the systems, I just wrote or jotted down some examples of things where they would fit in the different systems. It helps them to just memorize some things, help them with retaining the information, I find, and also for test purposes. Moving over to, yes, I still write the date on the board. No calendars, just write the date. Sometimes I let the student write it. But below it is my science wall. I also labeled the module, title. Each concept is written. Now, what's the purpose of doing this? This is just to keep my students up to date on which test is covering what, or what test is covering what. For the test we took today, it was concept 1, so that's why you only see vocabulary words for concept 1. It helps them with keeping up with what vocabulary goes with which test. Okay, so like on today's test with concept 1, it only had those vocabulary words on the test. And when we go to concept 2, I'll do the same thing. Because the vocabulary is always like a multiple choice style questioning. So they know if we happen to go over, for example, concept 1 covered lessons 1 through 8. If I would have covered lesson 9 before we took the test on concept 1, I would have started concept 2. So if I told them that the test only covered concept 1, they knew that it wasn't including those words that I have under concept 2, if that makes sense. So it just keeps everything organized for the students. I find it works out well if they decide to study. Some won't study one way or the other, but can't say I didn't try to help them. Okay, further over on this side, I have my science agenda board. As you can see, it's set up the same. I have the M3, we're in module 3. It's labeled agenda. Now I have M3 and agenda written in blue marker. Usually science is in green, math is in blue, but I just made a mistake in starting it out in blue, and I didn't want to waste another sheet of paper. So I just went on and kept it like that. They'll forgive me. And as you can see, I have the launch, learn, and land. Same setup for math because it's all the same company, PhD Science. And Eureka Square Math, all from Great Minds. So as you can see, I've listed all of the activities that we are going to do. Now this is set up for lesson 9. When we come back on tomorrow, that is going to be ready for them, and they can see everything, that activity they're going to do in the lesson before we get started, already ready for them. And I have one last thing to show you. Excuse me, I'm still learning how to work this, so you can get a shot at my class. It's not looking its best right now. Our custodian quit, and so I'm gonna have to stay a little bit later and tidy everything up. Okay, as you can see on the large tablet, I have module 3 for science, hence the green marker. This is for science. I have my anchor phenomenon, So that tells them everything is going to be centered around the rice forming. And I have my essential question at the end of Module 3. They are responsible for answering that question. They should be able to answer that question. And as you can see, for the Concept 1, I have crossed out Concept 1, Earth System, because we took the test on that today. Now we are moving into Concept 2. So when they come in, if they look at the tablet, they will know that Concept 1 is done. Moving on to Concept 2, Balinese rice forming. Concept 2, interactions of Earth system. So that is where we're going, starting with lesson 9. So that is, excuse me a second, that is how I set up my class, and that's set up like that daily. So I hope that that helps someone. I have some other things that I use in my classroom, but I just wanted to focus mainly on the content and how it is set up for the students and anyone coming in to observe your classroom. You really don't have to see anything. It's all done for you. Now it takes a little time to get that done, so that's why I'm here after school. It's not long as once you have your routine and you know exactly how you want it, and you may change it every year, but if you know exactly how you want it, it takes no time to get it done. So usually I'll get out at about 3:30 I'm out of here. So it doesn't take that long to get it set, but I tell you, it saves you a lot of time in the morning, and you get that done after school. When you come in the morning, it's a huge lift off. It's just a relief. It's a lift, a weight off your shoulder, because everything is done. The only thing you have to do is make sure you are prepared to teach the information. Come in and you're ready to get started. And I know some teachers, even new teachers, they don't like to stay after school. I understand, but either you stay after school or you come in the morning to get it done. And if the morning, now if you're like me, you don't want to get up earlier than what you already have to come in and get your stuff set up. So I prefer to stay in the evening to get it done. And I can go home and sleep well. So if you enjoyed this information, I hope my Campbell work wasn't too bad. I'm still learning. I don't mind helping. So if you have questions about it, or there's something you are confused about, if you have any questions, maybe even suggestions, I'm open to that as well. You can just leave it in the comment section. If you like this stuff, you can subscribe. I would appreciate that. And I would appreciate that. Or just come back again. I would appreciate that. Watch the video. Come back. I would appreciate that. But all in all, that's the Darcy way. Peace.